Truth is, I show up. I wasn't always like this. I didn't always show up. But now I do show up. I show up when it gets messy. I show up when it feels like nothing is working in my favor. I show up when there are obstacles and trials that I have to go through. I show up even when I don't want to show up. And I learned that with growth, it's not meant to be loud. It's meant to be silent. You don't have to tell people that you've changed. They'll just naturally feel that you've shifted. Because no one knows the dark days that I've gone through, or I do go through, or even just the things that I have to change, or the sacrifices that I've had to make in order to be where I am now. And I used to think so negatively and look at my life in such a negative way, but now I just look up to the sky and I smile. I smile because I didn't give up on myself. And you shouldn't either. The truth is, you deserve it all. I deserve it all. We all deserve it all. But you have to first believe that you do. Because if you don't, then nothing will change. I was listening to some inspirational music and it just really, like I was listening to Kendrick Lamar. I was listening to his GNX album, a few songs on there. And one song that really just stands out to me is Man in the Garden. I would just close my eyes and I would visualize to that song. And I would see myself where I want to be. And I would feel that. And the whole time that I was on the train, I was feeling that feeling. And I realized that I used to want the applause. I used to want people to see me. I used to question whether or not my content was good enough, whether or not I was good enough, whether or not if I'm even if I'm doing it right. Or I would try to keep up with the trend or try to do what everybody else wanted me to do. But I don't want to do that. I want to come on here and I want to continue to be the real me. I don't want to be like any other content creator. I don't want to be like anybody. I don't want to be compared to anybody because I have my own way of putting things together. We're all different. And, you know, even if there are people that have the same talents as you, that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that they're better than you. No. But if they chose to actually follow their dreams and actually use their talents, then that means that they had faith within themselves. Even if people said, nah, I don't like your music, or nah, I don't like that. I don't like that manga art that you created. That sucks. Like, why are you doing that? Or why are you even chasing your dreams? Who wants to do that? Who wants to be like that? We should all just get a 9-to-5 and just work for the rest of our lives. And today I realized, I came to this realization that everything that I have ever wanted has already been given to me on a silver platter. It was just time for me to recognize it. And that's what God wanted me to do, was to recognize it. Was to realize that, hey, it's done. Because for so long I procrastinated and I would go back on my word. I would say I would do this and then I would stop, and I wasn't as consistent as I was. And then I started to run out of ideas on what I wanted to talk about. But I realized that when I created this channel from the ground up, this channel was to help change lives. But not only was it to help change others' lives, but it was also to help change my life, because it did. When I go back to my videos and I look at my old videos from now, I look at how much I've grown and the content that I've created, because my content is realism. It's never going to be anything where I'm coming on here and I'm just giving you guys just, I like to entertain people, of course, but I'm never going to come on here and I'm never going to feed you a false story. Because really, I want everyone to win. I really do. And when I think about how far I've come and how I've changed and how I've shifted my mindset and how I've, stepped into my true self and actually know my divine purpose, I realized that on those nights where I was crying, those nights where I felt like I was a failure, or those nights where I didn't feel like I was good enough, I still showed up. I was still present. I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still going. And I feel like that's one thing I love about myself. I know, is that I'm very resilient. Because no matter my downfalls, no matter what I had to face in my life, I always got back up. And I can say that I am proud of myself for that. And I come on here and I want to share my story today. And I know that my story is impacting millions and millions of people. And I know that there are people that are listening. I don't need to chase subscribers. I don't need to chase an audience. I don't need to chase anything. I just naturally attract what I desire and what I want because it is mine and because I deserve it. And because this is my life and this is what I was destined to do. I have a voice, and my voice is meant to be heard. My voice is not meant to be silenced. So the story that I tell, and when I come on here and I tell you guys the things that I go through in everyday life, it's not because I want sympathy. It's because I'm teaching you so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And I want you to know that you are worthy and you are more than deserving to have anything that you want in this world. And don't let anyone tell you different. When I was listening to those songs and I started to listen to gospel music because it's Sunday, and I started to listen to gospel music, and I just thought to myself, I was just, I was on the train, I was smiling, and I felt it. I felt this feeling. I felt this shift. And I said, yes, God, you got me. And I heard him whisper. I heard God whisper and say, you do deserve it all. Because I do. And I want you to remember that too. I want you to remember that and come back to your why, to why you're doing this, why you're out here and why you're grinding. Why are you grinding? Who are you doing this for? It could be for your children. It could be for you. It could be because you want to prove to yourself that you can do anything you put your mind to. Or it could be for something greater. It could be for your family. It could be for someone that you can, that your mentor, whatever. It could be for anybody, anything. But remember that your why, whenever you feel like you want to give up, whenever you feel like, damn, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel, sometimes you're not gonna, sometimes you're gonna feel like, damn, what if it's not working? But remain in faith, remain in trust. Because it is working. It's already worked. You just have to keep coming back to that. I remember watching Jim Carrey, and he was talking about how he would go to the Hollywood. I think he would go up the Hollywood, where the Hollywood sign was in Hollywood. He would drive up there and he would stand on top of there and he would say that people want to work with me. I'm the best. I'm the greatest actor. And he spoke his life into existence. Marilyn Monroe spoke her life into existence. This is not a fantasy, guys. This is reality. So speak your life into existence. And remember that even if no one is cheering, I'm cheering for you. Your higher self is cheering for you. God is cheering for you. Even your children are cheering for you. And even if there's people that don't believe in you, that's because they haven't crossed that threshold yet. They don't believe in themselves enough to put themselves out here. And it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out here on a platform for millions of people to see. Not hoping and wishing for views, but just to put yourself out there so people know who you are. To share the story that you were meant to share. To change lives that you were meant to change. because that's what you were meant to do, to impact the world. But you first had to see it in yourself. You first had to look in the mirror and say, yes, I can do this. Yes, I am strong enough. Yes, it's mine. I refuse to listen to the doubts. Come back to that each and every time whenever you feel that, because nobody was with you on those cold nights. Nobody was with you when you were feeling lonely. Nobody was with you when you were going through it by yourself. Nobody was with you except God, the universe, your ancestors and spirit guides, and your angels, and you. Nobody knew the blood, sweat, and tears and everything that you had to put into your passion, into your craft every single day. Going out there on the grind every single day. Regardless of what anybody else said, regardless of what the naysayers, the energy vampires, or the people or the haters, regardless of that, you still kept moving. Because that's what growth is about. When you're transforming into a better you, it's going to be silent. But that doesn't mean that nobody is watching. That doesn't mean that no one's listening. They're watching and they're listening. And soon, because you've recognized yourself, soon the world is going to recognize you too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace. Remember, a seed doesn't shout before it sprouts. So continue to grow, continue to walk in faith, and hold your head high. And let the world think that you are nothing but delusional. Because once they see you pop out, they're gonna ask you, how'd you did it? How did you do it? How? And can I do the same?